Welcome back, Halo followers. Today is a video you're not going to want to miss. Halo Infinite gameplay has been revealed. Alright, we're talking about new screenshots, new customization information, as well as what they're planning on with the game, what they've changed from Halo 5, and a lot of just absolutely amazing information. Alright, talking about their goals as a team and what they're investing in and what is different about this time. So it's kind of like their goals, and Joseph Staten just talks so much about everything here. Alright, they're talking about 3D models, and they show off screenshots of the classic Halo weapons or new designs mixed in with old designs, and also a multiplayer map. So gameplay has been revealed for the first time for Halo Infinite, tons of renders, and just absolutely way too much for me to tease here. So guys, we did it. The content drought is over for the time being. This is what we've been asking for a long time. The excitement is through the roof. People are in shock right now because this is just the most unexpected thing you can imagine getting right now, on a, what is this, Tuesday night. So be sure to smash this video's like button blue, guys, and subscribe. We are going over literally everything, all right? So this is a very unfiltered, just getting through every epic detail in this entire article. So the beginning starts with Joseph Staten, and that this this is so cool. He talks about how after Reach shipped, that he became a big fan and cheering on 343 Industries from the sidelines, and that he spent months immersing himself into the Halo universe, and that he missed Halo, and that he is the creative director to help the team ship Halo Infinite in fall 2021. And there it is. That's the release date. There it is. Fall 2021. All right. So let me just humbly remind everyone that that's what I've been guessing most of the time. Although I did get mixed up on the spring stuff. But there we go. A full year. All right. It's coming out fall 2021. They talk about art and graphics, all right? So they say, thanks, Joseph. In the months since our campaign demo, the team has been heads down, working on everything from lighting to fog to wear and tear on Spartan armor, all right? So they have essentially been improving, like, what I've been saying is I hope to God that they've been working on making things look more worn and torn, right? More gritty, more, grounded. We know the community has been eager to hear about and see the improvements since the progression team has been made since July. So today we're joined by a few members of our art and graphics teams to talk shop. So before we jump in, can you briefly explain and introduce yourself? So yeah, Nicholas is a senior concept artist and art director from 343. And there's also Neil Harrison, and he's the director of art management at 343. And that he's been managing the art team since Halo 4. And the way I would describe, he says, describe my role is that Sparth, as our art director, provides the artistic direction for our game, and my role as his partner is to build and manage the art team that executes the vision. So there's also Annie Schratzy. She's the development manager for the graphics team and has been for the past 2.5 years. All right, so this screenshot, what we're seeing here now in the post, is absolutely beautiful. I can't remember what map it reminds me of from Halo 5, but it doesn't look. It looks like it supports Clamber, right? Because there's those boxes there. They probably talk about that, but there's actually an armor ability right there on the map that looks like Cloak, and that further confirms and shows off that they're going to the classic route of Halo gameplay, which I'm very excited about. That camo probably is not just a loadout. It's something that you have to go find in the world like it's always been. But this is a work in progress, and let's actually see what this is called, because it just says High Multiplayer Map, so there's no name for it. There might be a name for it in the post, but they say back in July, our teams pulled together a slice of representative gameplay that introduced fans to the expansive nature of this new ring world, and we got the first look at Master Chief using the grapple shot and various weaponry to take on the Banished. Despite excitement around the gameplay, we knew we had plenty of work left to do on art and the graphics side. Can you speak a bit about the demo and the team's perspective? So this guy says the primary goal of the campaign demo in July was to show Halo Infinite gameplay for the first time, and why that aspect generally landed as we wanted. The reality is that the art and visuals weren't at the bar we hold for Halo, even in a work in progress state. Amen, brother. Much of the feedback we heard from the community aligned with our own views and work we were already committed to doing around things like indirect lighting, material response, foliage and tree rendering, clouds, level of detail transitions, and character fidelity. Still, the feedback was humbling, and it also pushed us to look at additional opportunities for improvement. So, essentially what they're saying here is that, look, we already knew we were behind, and the community told us to catch up, and that's what we're doing. Again, fall 2021, all right, it's in stone. So, AS here says, July was indeed a very much work-in-progress slice of technology, and a reasonable set of key features from global illumination and dynamic time of day to GPU-driven rendering and variable rate shading were all in development. Much of the graphics team's capacity, along with that of some the key technical artists, was focused on achieving high resolution and performance leading up to the demo, which meant several of these key features didn't quite get the level polish that that they wanted. So yeah, there's that. And they also say internally, I remember we discussed the feedback with two key areas in mind: visual fidelity and art style. So those are big things that people were concerned about, that people really did not like. And they say, before we get into the former, can you briefly touch on the latter and help clarify our intentions as it relates to the overall art style of Halo Infinite? And NB says, from a player's perspective, I absolutely must mention that I've been sort of a child of Bungie's marathon from 1994. It was the very first FPS I got hooked on. And let's see, where is he talking about Halo here? All this to say, I have always been very attached to visual continuity, especially for such a large franchise. I felt that Halo 5, despite many successes, didn't take player feedback enough into account. Well said. And many felt that the game's visuals were deviating off course. And what they've done, by the way, in Halo Infinite is make things, they kind of dumbed everything down, simplified it basically, while keeping textures have that high fidelity. We can see that with the rocket launcher here. Now, I wonder what the heck is going on in this setting, because we see a Spartan here. It looks like a custom Spartan with just like the default Mark 7 armor. And by God, can I just say, I love how this looks. It looks like updated Halo 3, all right? The weapons so far look like Halo 3, just updated. And the armor, all right? And I'll probably show one of the armor screenshots here. We got quite a few. We haven't quite got into that section yet, but this is absolutely amazing, all right? This is exactly what we wanted. At least this is exactly what I wanted. And I'm just insanely excited for this, all right? So, they say there's no denying that the return to a classic art style immediately evokes the unmistakable look and feel of Halo. When it comes to visual fidelity, the team has been making progress since July. As we can see in some of the latest images we're sharing here today, can you talk about some of the specific areas that the team has been working on? All right. So they have taken in our feedback. All right. That's really, really big. It's very important. And I'm excited to see how invested they are, you know, and all the changes that they're making here. You see, on a graphics technology front, we have made improvements along with fixing bugs that were inherent to some of the techniques, as well as iterating and polishing the features that were still in development. Some of the key areas of progress include better quality of global illumination. These are things that they're focusing on changing, all right? Global illumination, ambient occlusion, all right, shadows, volumetric lighting, that's big, sky and atmosphere, that's also big. We have addressed issues with our GPU-driven rendering and texture streaming solution that should mitigate the LOD popping and the that's level of detail popping and texture quality issues that were prevalent in the July demo. So they are tackling those technical and those visual kind of errors that were happening in the demo, all right? In addition to the graphics tech changes, we have made a lot of improvements on the art content side across all disciplines, such as lighting, environment, weapons, effects, and more. There is too much to cover here, but I thought I'd talk about some of the more impactful changes in my mind. Firstly, there's been a lot of work on retuning our dynamic lighting. All right, this was like the big thing. The lighting was off. That's why people did not like the demo, and that now it has more punch to it, better values, and contrast to the image. These included adjustments to our sun intensity, fog, and atmosphere. All right, so cool. The addition of color grading, which did not make it into the July gameplay demo. Okay, that's a big thing. Color grading, all right? That makes almost anything look better. That was not in the July demo, and apparently it is coming. We've improved some of our materials to get more specular response, more wear and tear on weapons and vehicles, more fidelity in our characters, and more macro breakup on large surfaces like rocks, terrain, and hex walls, all right? That's what they're called, apparently. Hex walls. Is that what we're calling it? The hex walls are terrible. But in concept art, I thought that they actually looked pretty good, surprisingly, when having the, better lighting. They say we're now also getting more of our textural detail coming through the final frame thanks to the sharpening process that our graphics team have added. This helps offset some of the natural blurring of temporal anti-aliasing, and certainly it helps our assets shine. So things are more shiny, more sparkly, more reflective now, and also more beat up. Wear and tear on weapons and vehicles, that Warthog, it looked pristine. All right, it looked pristine, and I'm glad that that is over. They say, we're eager to show the progress the team has made in campaign as soon as we can, but we want to make sure we have the right pieces, all the right pieces coming together, and this can be tricky with a lot of moving parts and an expansive world of this scope. We know everyone is keen to see more, and we look forward to sharing more in future updates in the months ahead. All right, here we are again, all right, showing off the sniper, which is, I'm pretty sure that's more like the Halo 4 sniper, right? Or am I wrong there? All right, I'd have to pull it up, but that looks very Halo 3-ish to me from memory, and I still like it. It doesn't matter. Honestly, I like this design, and the art style is on. It looks great. And there again, we see the Spartan in the background. Maybe this is some kind of like info menu where you can look at weapons and something like in the main menu, and you can see the lore behind everything. Maybe something like that exists in Halo Infinite, but I wonder if this is just a fancy render or if this is part of the game where you can look at models, We see some warthogs in the background there and some, I know, we've seen these hologram tables before, and they're usually a pretty interactive part of whatever experience they're being shown on. So anyway, moving on. Speaking of improvements on the art content side, one big outcome from our demo was the emergence of the now world-renowned Craig. Oh, God. Okay, why we, the internet, have come to love dear Craig. We know he wasn't his best self back in July. Can you give updates on Craig? So, this is interesting. They basically talk about here that the Craig had this deadpan, lifeless look, right? That he was in a neutral pose position, and that's for the development team to add blend shapes, animations, smile, frown, stuff, but it was just a deadpan look. So that's coming in the game. Thank God, because I thought that they thought that was like good enough to just have lifeless AI with deadpan looks. That is a huge thing, and yeah, they're coming. So no need to worry about that. But we have a piece of gameplay here. All right, this is my favorite part. Nothing about this is mind-blowing. And it doesn't even look good as far as like, visual fidelity goes for like games nowadays, like, I don't know, Witcher 3, for example. It's like a good looking game, or Call of Duty, Black Ops. It's not like trying to be super updated. It looks very Halo 3 to me. And what that means is that it looks like Halo. It looks like the art style that we've known from the original Halo games, including Halo Reach. It looks like almost a Halo Reach map, by the way. So I'm hoping that they're not outsourcing this. Probably not, but that's something that I've been concerned about lately, is just the massive amount of outsourcing that they've done. But this is cool, man. There's not much to read into this. There's probably some lore right there. We see this logo. It's like AXYS, like a teardrop and like an A glitching out. So maybe we could read more into this later. But In today's update, we're providing the first glimpses of an interior space. Okay, here, I feel like an idiot. Now we're talking about it. From a content and graphics perspective, how is this approach similar and different when it comes to the look and feel of the most intimate traditional spaces versus the open and expansive outdoors? Real quick, we're going to look at what this map is named. Okay, it's named nothing, basically. They say from a graphics technology perspective, the majority of the rendering pipeline and rendering techniques has been shared between interior and exterior spaces. Very similar shading models, shadowing algorithms, and post-processing effects used in either case. So, where the primary difference comes into play is the sheer density in the expansive outdoor environment and the challenges that brings in authoring the content at scale, and then runtime efficiently streaming all that data at a smooth 60 frames per second at high resolutions. Another difference is that it is unique to the exterior environment, that is seamless time of day, which requires a more dynamic global illumination approach. So, yeah, this is basically they're talking about the difference between interior spaces and expansive outdoor environments. So you might find this, boring. So I'll just kind of push past it a little bit, but you can read it here or pause the video. But I'm kind of glad that they're talking about outdoor spaces. Hopefully that there's large outdoor spaces, because that was something that wasn't really ever shown off in Halo 5. But I'll read a little bit more here. Obviously, with multiplayer maps, collaboration with designers is key. Layout, sightlines, and player navigation are crucial and are all things that we iterate on constantly as we fine-tune the experience. I did not read map control there. A little bit worried about that. There's nothing really cool about the juxtaposition between the intimate and expansive spaces in Halo Infinite and wide stay each other offer different challenges. So basically, they're talking about the development of that. So a lot of maybe not so super juicy things at this spot here. But if you really want to dive into all this, then go for it. Feel free to pause the video or go read the article. But we're going to keep pushing past this because this gets into the very technical stuff. So if that's your cup of tea, read into it. All right, live and customization. All right. As Sketch said, it's time to sit down with our live team and talk about our approach to designing a live game such as Halo Infinite, free-to-play multiplayer, and armor customization. I don't know if this game has ever been officially confirmed as a live game. It probably has, but I thought that we learned that through job postings and other sources indirectly that were like kind of strongly hinting it. But that's a confirmation either way, again, or for the first time. This is a live game, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but they are making this game not for a big oomph, release, but rather one that can be continued to be enjoyed as new content is added, sort of like Fortnite, or Apex Legends, or Destiny. So, Ryan, Chris, thank you so much for joining us to represent the live team. This is your first time talking about Halo Infinite publicly. I wanted to give you a chance to introduce yourself to the community. What roles are you at 343, and what's your experience with Halo as a fan and employee? So Ryan here is the design director for the live team, and there's also Chris Bloom, and he is the lead progression designer. So we've said live team quite a bit, so I want to ask, what does live team do? In other words, what are the team's responsibilities, and how do they contribute to the overall game? So it just occurred to me, what we're looking at here, by the way, is a new skin. This is called the Scorpion Punch Armor Coating. And my God, that is beautiful. Like, wow, that is beautiful. So there's a lot to take in here. All right, and we're kind of talking about live stuff, but I want to divert for a second. This is one new armor, all right, new helmet. Very simple. It's not all busy, and it's not trying to be super, edgy and all over the place like a lot of Halo 5 helmets were. The armor also is doing the same thing. It's staying very simple and very, very grounded, and simple. But like the texture is also really detailed. So that's kind of what I always identified as Halo's art style. And this honestly looks like Halo 3's direct sequel. All right. So look at those knee pads. Very cool. They look like little pyramids there. The wrist as well. Not much there, but there's something that looks like a couple canisters or something on the guy's leg. But this is a really cool looking Spartan, all right? My God. All right, so what is the team's responsibility for live games? They say, we've been doing I've been doing this for a long time, and answering this is giving shift. Let's see, giving shifts is role life daunting. Okay, so the live team takes on a meta role to our contributions, and in our content tends to bridge experiences. Think of challenges and progression, customization, achievements. So after we see Halo Infinite launch, we'll shift a bit more monitoring to the state of the game and ensuring we react appropriately. Not only is this working with our friends on the community team, but with analysis ongoing, with user research, etc., to ensure that the team knows what's working and what's not. And that means also having a direct partnership with you, the players, that will be able to use to improve the game experience together over the lifetime of the game. Lastly, we're working on the across the studio as from a long-term roadmap for Halo Infinite. So seasons, all right. Basically, could have maybe summarized that, but they are working on challenges, progression, customization, and achievements, and that also seasons. So seasons are kind of like with each update, you can unlock like a strand of new armor, and probably in this case armor coatings and armors and paint jobs and different skin. However, the progression or the customization system works, but seasons are going to be in Halo Infinite. I found that pretty interesting, and I love that. And they say also, CB says this: we have great teams working on gunplay, the maps, the modes, the moment of the multiplayer dance and epic campaign. Our team works to bring all these separate experiences together into one cohesive Halo experience at launch, and then continues to build on that and evolve that into the future. Oh, I'm so excited. This is so cool. All right. Thanks for laying that out. It sounds like you got your hands in quite a few cookie jars. As you look at those different aspects of the game, how do you approach each of them as a designer? So this is more technical talk about how they work on the game, but I will say this part, from marketing, everything from marketing to multiplayer sandbox to esports, the teams, both internal and external, these are our partners. There's a lot of gear shiftings and perspective shifts throughout the day. So very exciting to say. Gotcha. So these principles and pillars you keep in mind essentially act as guidelines and guardrails, correct? So if you don't mind sharing them, what is the Lives team's pillars for Halo Infinite? All right. Now we're getting into the really juicy stuff, all right? So this is essentially their goals as the live team. This is important because as you play multiplayer throughout the weeks and months, they have a roadmap that they're developing with armors, coatings, and everything actually here. So we'll read that now. Healthy engagement is paramount, all right? So they also say we maintain a player-first focus. And I'm actually going to recap these in a second. I just want to read them real quick. Unambiguous value. All right. Always be listening, learning, and experimenting. All right. So that's what the first guy says. So they say we want everyone to play the game in a healthy manner that they enjoy. We're not building a grind machine that burns everyone out in an attempt to get more game time from them. This is super important because it's what I've been worrying about with the armor coatings being $5 per armor coating, most likely. At least a few are confirmed. But also player first focus. So, I guess this is great stuff, what they're saying here. Like, that, think of all the games we played that have random rewards as people to play a game, they hate just for a shiny new weapon or customized FOMO against a player. There will be limited time events, but we want to turn free into a chore. We don't want to turn free into chore. So they can say this all day is what I'm trying to get at, but will they actually, will they stay true about it? Will they stay honest and keep it like, reasonable? And besides, what if, I'm getting into a whole thing, but I'm just hoping this game doesn't become a grind fest. This is a good sign that it won't be, but yeah, they say if someone invests their money and time or money into a game, they should understand what they're getting, and that will be worth more than the investment. So examples of this practice include no loot boxes, either through engagement or premium route. and we're not selling power or giving unfair advantage in-game via any route. So that means basically they're not microtransactioning, better weapons like maybe a game like PlanetSide 2 might. So that's no free to play. Certainly will have microtransactions, right? But this is juicy stuff. I don't remember this being juicy when I read it, but they say always be listening, learning, and experimenting, and that they're very much about growth and iteration, and that they're just going to have to learn over time. Some things will just have to give them a chance in the wild, try them out, and yeah, this is cool. So another thing that the live team are trying to do here is provide value. It has been said before, it's important to restate, no loot boxes or randomness in rewards. No Rex, right? No Rex. I think that's a confirmation that there are no Rex. And that's big for me because I always thought Rex were, just like this weird midpoint. It was annoying. Allow player expression. So we want everyone to build their dream Spartan. We are looking for more ways to customize in-game personas and give the players options. My team knows that our long-term players have favorites that they love and may have for 2 decades. We want to make sure that Halo Infinite players will be able to get their old favorites as well as find its new favorites at launch. And as we expand over the months post-launch, much like MCC, I want to bring everything to Infinite eventually. Wait, we want to make sure that Halo Infinite players will be able to, okay. We want to expand over the months post-launch, much like, okay. I misread that into a very weird thing. Okay. I want to circle back with a note on our pillars and the structure of our title. Halo Infinite multiplayer being free to play has demanded that we examine how we build and release content that has influenced everything we just talked about. There are certain places that we're moving, that we're going to move away from. Approaches seen in Halo Legacy and try something new, but always keep in mind the goalpost above. I like the goalpost that we read there, but keep in mind, like they said, that feels like a warning, like we are moving away approaches. So not just getting rid of the primary and secondary color, but oh, yikes. What else have they changed? I feel like that's the community's motto at this point. I feel like it's mine anyway. Oh, God, what else is next? But I like what we've seen, like these armors, these skins are looking good enough. What we're looking at here is, that's cool. I mean, god damn, that look. I wish they showed us that, and all I can think about is that really crappy, unshaded, or untextured kind of purple Spartan, the Monarch skin. It's really dug deep into the psyche, and it's unfortunate. But we also have another Spartan. This looks crazy, man. I mean, this almost doesn't even look Halo. And by the way, that's the SMG right there. That looks like the SMG, right, guys? Check out the new armor. The space diapers. My god, this is Halo 3. This looks so Halo 3 to me. Maybe a little bit of Halo 4 in there, but this helmet looks... it's a weird helmet. That's not a helmet we've seen before. But we'll look at more of these. I don't want to spoil all these and just and then jump into the talking part. But this is you mentioned coding specifically, which have turned some heads over the past few weeks. Yeah, talk about the 16th, 17th biggest Reddit post in Halo Reddit history. Can you elaborate on what codings are and why they're in Halo Infinite? Oh, this is juicy stuff, right? Yes, the coding system is something that the live team and our 3D artists designed directly after Halo 5 and is part of the overall customization picture. In previous Halo titles, we had a series of inputs that were simple RGBs and secondary channels. For Halo Infinite, we didn't feel that flat colors and a singular pattern were good enough. The coding system allows us to define color, wear and tear, and patterns and materials on a region by region basis. That's pretty big. On a Spartan or anything in the game, be it armor, weapons, vehicles, or even environment elements like fuel barrels. Okay, so they're using it for other assets in the game, like models. To get our design vision, we need to make an exceedingly difficult decision to move away from a system that was in the game from the early days, primary and secondary color. This decision was not made likely, but has set a foundation for greater variation. So please explain, because we keep hearing that. This might be the explanation here. In addition to getting better variation, we can create coatings much faster than we can create weapon skins in Halo 5. So this will allow us for better variation over time. Additionally, with coatings for being their own customization option, we can use them as rewards for player accomplishments, or even create bespoke ones for certain occasions. Oh, maybe like what Bungie did, like, oh man, like the fire effect. And by the way, I hope 343 doesn't limit themselves to just skins, because there could be effects, there could be glows and things like that. So they might talk about that here. But we have looked at the system and understand the concern in our recent value balancing pass, which was a direct result of community feedback around coding. Okay. Value balancing pass. All right. So they've done this whole update based on what we've been saying. I wish they were more communicative of that before now, but this is great. We have looked hard at many codings are in the starting set, and how many and of what quality are unlocked via engagement in other systems. You mean microtransactions? Codings are the one part of the customization picture, but we feel but we all feel all up. We will hit our goal with player representation by offering more possibilities across the entire system. Why this does mean losing some player control and increases the depth of customization that we can have internally, and you can ultimately show off publicly. So again, I don't really like that phrasing, and this is Thin George after he loses some weight, I guess. But that's funny. Right there, by the way, Halo Reach armor, it's going to be a big thing. And by the way, now that I'm looking at it, this armor almost looks like a blend between Halo 3 and Halo Reach, which is just absolutely awesome. But I'm not quite sure if, I don't know if that's the right call, but I just want to be able to change the colors if I want to. If I'm only being able to change, certain things about the colors, just one coat and not change the wear and tear, that's just limiting, I think. And you've done this evolution for nothing, I think. But they said, now speaking of armor customization options, we've teased Halo Reach levels of armor customization before. Can you tell us on what that actually means for Halo Infinite? They say one way to look at inventory systems is to look at the breadth and depth. How many things can I customize, and how many choices within it do I have? Reach allowed the player a lot of individual customization types on a single armor suit, with each type having many options. We knew we had to return to that level, but also do more. To me, Reach customization is both options, helmet attachment, shoulder pads, as well as number of individual assets. So those are all things we can expect in the game, right? I mean, these all look different from other armors, and I wonder if those shoes will be changeable. We actually have a few more images here. It's exciting, all right? It's very exciting. To dial it in a little, the geo that could be changed and added in Reach was, those things. These will all be back, okay, including visor color, utility, knee guards, wrist gear, all right, and then the typical things, including helmet attachment, all right, which hasn't been a thing since Reach, I think. But we will go further. Personally, I've always loved the visors, and we will have a surprise to show soon. All right, more multiplayer news already coming, all right? So already confirmed in this update, which is awesome. I understand that there is a level of being vague that is unconscionable, and I am riding that line hard, but we want to save some surprises for later. I love it. I knew the team was cooking up some awesome stuff, but I still really am impressed when I saw all these options for the first time. The best part is that you were only talking about armor customization, and that you've been working to add deeper personalization elsewhere as well, right? Can you explain? So we're going to be vague for a bit longer. Honestly, it's fine with me with how much stuff has been shown here. And they say, just know that there's still tons to talk about between now and our launch next fall. And that's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying, all right? There's obviously, this hasn't spoiled the multiplayer. This hasn't ruined anything, but it's relieving, I think, a lot of tension already. A lot of people, and I should have suspected this, Obviously, people are going to calm down about those things, and I'm still concerned. But this is great damage control, just talking about the game. We're showing some cool Spartan customizations and armors in this update, but we're not done showing players what they can do there. So, more news coming about that very soon, it seems. Likewise, players have seen coatings for weapons and vehicles, and that, but that's not all they'll be able to customize there either. Oh, okay. So we're talking about weapon customization and vehicle customization, not just changing skins, but also changing things about those skins, perhaps. But basically, they talked about customizing weapons and vehicles there. So that's pretty big, right? That's pretty massive. Wow. Okay. When it's time for the hype train to leave the station, we'll be sure on it with a briefcase full of information and screenshots. I think I lost the metaphor. I feel like this is a pretty awesome hype train. They say, all right, then keep your secrets for now. I know we'll be chatting about everything with the live team in due time and in even greater depth. And do you have any thing you'd like to talk to the community about before you leave us off? So these are kind of the last words. We can look at this image real quick. This is the WATCHDOG armor coating. All right. By the way, let's look at these other Noble Defender armor coating. Okay, I did not see that. By the way, before I forget to say this, where is this guy, by the way? All right. Is this the customization screen? For Spartans, we have the Splinter Desert armor coating. Very cool. Very cool. And then the WATCHDOG armor coating. So that's going to be the same one. Okay, so let's actually do a little experiment. Let's look at this armor coating. Let's look at the dirt. Is that dirt over here on this Spartan as well? Yeah, it is. So, yeah, preset textures like they've been saying. Not too surprising. Just confirming what they said that they're doing. But that's interesting. All right, so it looks great. My God, does it look great. I hope gameplay looks this great. And just looking at that screenshot one more time, we actually have a couple more here, but this is... The shadows look great in this. I mean, I might come back with a different opinion after looking at this longer, but I'm just so infatuated with this right now of excitement. So we got a little bit more reading to do, but they want to talk about, okay, lovey-dovey, we love the Halo community, and that, and there will be more discussion with every bit of content the studio releases. We see what the community is saying. I lurk Reddit and Waypoint forums like a madman. We talk about it every day. We're going to learn, iterate, and evolve as time goes on. But we promise to make the best Halo game we can. And that they talk about looking forward to doing things. Ooh, this is juicy. The live team is already plotting course for post-launch beats, and we all look forward to partnering with the community in our mutual journey that will evolve and grow Halo Infinite. Oof. Okay. To round it up, no loot boxes, no randomness or items that will influence the sandbox or gameplay. That's great. I wonder if armor coatings will be random, but they're saying no randomness. There's no gambling. There's no randomness. That's very direct. So I think that's great. That's when microtransactions get real ugly and gross and annoying. So yeah, they talk about that. We can't wait to talk about this in the future. And to close out our first Inside Infinite update, I'll toss the reins back to our creative director, Joseph Staten. So actually, Joseph Staten did not talk a whole lot in this. But, you know, obviously this guy has had a lot of experience working on Halo. You know, he's like the grandfather of the original Halo games, and he was part of the team that made, you know, all those original Bungie games. Very intimate role about it. But he shares a brand new screenshot. Look at that. All right. Look at this. This is amazing. Campaign, all right? Now, this is concept art. It looks like, it almost looks like gameplay. I think that it's just really good art, maybe. It almost looks like a 3D render in there. But you can kind of get an idea of what they're going for. We've seen this structure right here before a few times. That little middle structure in the middle. And I don't know what is going on with these things. We've seen these things all over Zed Halo. We've seen them in the concept art and the cover art, you know? What are these things? Okay, he actually talks about it a little bit. This is crazy. I'm fortunate to have worked with an incredibly talented teams my whole career. The Infinite team is no exception. Folks here just don't just understand Halo. They love the core gameplay and characters and community, everything that makes Halo Halo, just as much as I do, and like me, they also feel a deep responsibility to serve. We aren't making this game for us, we're making it for you. Starting with this update, we're going to be sharing more about what we're doing and most importantly, why we're doing it. So right there, I want to hit that home. We're making this game for fans, not us. And I'm kind of split about that, but like in a way, I'm really happy about that because they're always talking about, and they do use the verbiage, but I feel like it's different now. But they're always talking about our vision, what we got planned, and just like how we're changing Halo, we're mixing things up, our legacy, and it seems like they're kind of really trying to respect Halo. And I'm so grateful that Joseph Staten's there, is because at least we have just someone that really worked on the original games, that understand it, that were there in the beginning, and are hopefully at this point making a big impact, as they're doing a lot of development work on this, right? My first week on the job, he said, as I played the entire Halo Infinite campaign twice, I was in a word, stunned, in the best possible way. And by what the team had done, Infinite is by far the most expansive and vertical Halo world ever. Vertical. There is a lot of verticality in it. I mean, there's a lot of endless, bottomless drops and a lot of stuff happening up here in the sky and massive cliffs, awkwardly massive cliffs with these hex walls. Although I prefer Minecraft walls more. But he says, I could feel the classic Halo 30 seconds of fun beating in the heart of Infinite's world. But I never felt more powerful, more mobile, more in command of a rich set of tactical choices. That was the Halo we imagined back in 2000. Oh, baby, yes. Finally come to life after 20 years of technical and creative innovation. But there were bugs in the build and clearly more work to do, but this concept by Martin was one of the best incredible pieces he's made for the game. Oh, baby, this is juicy. We got a little bit more, all right? We're almost through this, guys. This is so wonderful to hear that, I mean, yeah, he might just be saying it, all right? He's a pretty big position. Maybe he just has to say it, but it sounds excited, Like, before, they were just talking about, like, we made this look good, or it's average, or it's like, just like the implications that they had sometimes, it's just like iffy. But I mean, talking about it in such a good way, it's someone that's actually played the game, stunned and just shocked, is really cool to hear. So they say it encapsulates us, or rather all the excitement, curiosity, and joy I felt on my first journey through Zeta Halo, the most mysterious, dangerous, and possibly rich place in the entire Halo universe. Everywhere I looked, I saw choices. Do I explore the Golden Path? Assault the Banished Guardian in the Valley Pass? Follow a flight of the Forerunner Sentinels into an unexpected cavern? Wow. Rescue a squad of Marines dug in and desperate halfway up the mountain? Or do I keep pulling the mainline story thread that feels epic and intimate at the exact same time? So there's what I've been saying for over a year, is that this game is open world. And probably a few years now. This game is point A to point B. It's kind of like open linear, it's kind of like a hybrid. But there seems like there's a lot you can do to the left and right of you, and you don't have to do them, all right? You don't have to go into the cave. You don't have to go onto a side quest. You really don't. You can just do the mainline story, or you can go into the creepy cave, all right? That's so awesome to me, and that is the best way to evolve Halo, I think. That just makes so much sense, and yes, dude, yes. They say truly, Halo Infinite is a world in which I love spending time, and I am thrilled to return to, both as a designer and player. On the behalf of the entire team, thank you for the patience and your passion. We can't wait for you to join us on the Halo Infinite adventure, first with insider flighting later next year. Oh, this is too good. And when we ship in fall 2021, baby. Ow! This is awesome. So, big takeaway here. Pickups, multiplayer. Fall 2021 is the release date. Insider flighting. So that's probably going to be like the Halo Insider program. Probably be on the Series X, maybe the PC. This is maybe the Xbox One as well, but it looks like the gameplay that we've all loved and missed is coming back. I haven't played the game, so I don't really know to what extent, but the armor, the art design is looking great. The team seems very passionate and excited about this, and I'm getting passionate, excited about it now. This is probably the customization area. You know, there's probably like a little HUD here where you can change your Spartan. This is on probably an entirely new level, all right? Probably an entirely new level. There's different feet. There's different shoes or whatever you want to call it. The boots of the Spartan, by the way, they're different. They have changed like in Halo 4 and stuff, but they've never been customizable. And they didn't even really confirm it, but I think they are. All right, that's just a part of the body that we never been able to change, as well as the palms, or opposite of the palms, right there, you know, near the knuckles. I haven't seen that different on all. Oh, yeah, they're different. We were able to change that in Reach, but when I look at these models, I think from everything that I've seen, almost everything is different. And I think the undersuit's even different too. I mean, does that confirm undersuit changes? Maybe. I mean, they're definitely going to be customizable, I'm sure of it. Just independently, will they? Multiplayer is looking great. We see the assault rifle here. I forgot to mention that with this skin. There's a skin on it. Really cool graphics. I mean, I love this. And multiplayer gameplay, you know, and it's not B-roll, but this is juicy stuff, you know, and got the sniper there. This is cool, guys. This is really cool. This kind of looks, if you look at the wall here, this is exactly what we saw in the background of the this right here. You see this wall? So this is probably a big customization area. But this map, we don't know the name of it, but it looks pretty cool. It's not breathtaking or shocking to any degree, but this might tie into the story somehow, as a lot of Halo maps do. But we see a pickup there. It looks like camo. Could be new ability perhaps. But if you look very closely, there's actually something floating under the icon. So maybe like in Halo 3, you know, you pick up the thing and throw it on you, like the armor or armor shielding or whatever in Halo 5. This is so cool. So guys, I won't ramble any further, but I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. I'm probably going to loop around, cover more of this stuff, but that's the bulk of it, all right? Big Halo news has just dropped. This is the end of the content drought, and I wonder why they ended it sooner than they said they would. And I think it's because they listened to Sean W., they listened to me, they listened to anyone else that participated in the content drought, even just through complaints on Twitter or Waypoint. If you said anything, I think you were probably a part of the reason that this happened. And I think they're like, all right, what are we hiding this game for? Right? There's no reason, I think, to hide it. But anyways, guys, I'm so grateful. Thank you, 343. Thank you for ending the content drought. There is plenty to talk about here for a while. And we already know that there is a general overview, probably like kind of a recap, but we'll have some relevant stuff in it on December 17th. And also, sometime after the holidays, there's a high-level update. All right? And we didn't even know that this was coming. This is out of the blue. I was watching TV when this happened. I was like, what the heck? You know, no one expected this. I didn't anyway. But guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one soon. All right, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like this video. All right, peace.